And it's Ken Kreitzer in New York City for CBSI. I have a chance to talk to a very good friend, Myron Gould, who's been an instructor at NYU for many years, many different roles and contributions in the field of direct marketing, digital marketing. Myron, always good to see you.
Same here, Ken. It's always good to see you.
When we met, you were working and teaching and showed kind of a theoretical plan for an online shopping mall. And I was thinking today that, boy, that was just what emerged as what Amazon.com did. How has the whole field of online retailing emerged from the early days of the internet to now this great digital space that we have?
I think it varies company by company. Companies that have had, you talk about direct marketing, but catalog companies and companies that have had experience dealing one-on-one with consumers certainly are ahead of the game as compared to other companies that are trying to figure out what to do with their presence online. When you're selling products and you understand the catalog concept, it's much easier to put together an online presence that can become profitable. I find that companies like Land's End and others that are really that knowledge are doing a good job. I find that a lot of companies that I deal with over time are struggling with what do I do with this? I'm not selling products, I'm a service business or what have you. How do I get people to become interested in what I do? And they struggle with that. And it's not an easy solution. It's the same thing with what's going on with social media these days. You have companies that they know they need to do something. And so they go online and they build a presence and they get involved with followers or connections or whatever they're called on that particular media form, and they don't get anything in return. You know, they get a lot of press perhaps, and maybe that's worth something. But as a direct marketer, I've never been a fan of branding for the sake of branding. I've always been a fan of branding as part of your business model, and you do business and promote your brand by doing business and doing it well. So it's a different approach, and you find companies like this really struggling to understand where they're going with this thing and how do they commercialize it. So not an easy thing.
And Myron Gould, one of the aspects that you spend a lot of time on working with students, working with clients, is helping them to develop business plans for new businesses and for new products. And I know you emphasize trying to anticipate questions and thinking out all the different aspects in advance. What do you help advise your clients on in developing their business plans?
Well, the first thing for anybody, whether it's a student or a client, is that a business plan is written for you as the person running the business. It's not written for investors. It's not written for other people. It'll be used by other people. A business plan written for you will have a lot more detail, be a lot more granular than, for example, what an investor wants to see. So you do all the work, you create the detail, you create all the processes, you get everything done before you're going to run the business so that you're not investing in fixed costs while you're actually running the business. You're paying for fixed costs, no good. What you want to do is try to think out as much as possible in advance and be ready to do business when you open the doors. So I focus on that with people. I also focus on having them document why they say the things that they say they're going to do and how they're going to go about doing them, and providing the rationale so that they clearly understand it and somebody reading the plan clearly understands it. Once again, you're not going to present this to, let's say, investors or VC people or whatever, but what you're going to give them is a condensed version, which would be your summary of your plan. But if they ever want to understand, well, why did they say this? Well, they have to look at the details, but they're there. That's another thing. In planning of any kind, it's important to start with research and understanding, and so that the roots of what you are going to say in a strategy, what you're going to propose that you do, come from the research, and that you can see it. You can see where it's grounded, so it's not a non sequitur. A non sequitur, why did they say to do this? I don't understand it. But if there's a building process of learning a fact about something and then building on that into a strategy, then you have something that's worth doing, and it gives you more of a chance for success.
And Myron, I was very fortunate to take one of your classes at NYU, just really when the internet business was starting. We all learned or knew we needed to learn as much about what was happening in the internet field to keep current. And now you've continued to teach at NYU in a number of capacities in their School of Professional Studies. Tell us a little bit about what you're working with your students on, and a little bit about why it's important for business people to keep advancing their education.
Okay. As far as what I'm doing at New York University, I just started a new, what we're calling a capstone course for students in a graduate program in management. And the course is about structured planning for innovative entrepreneurial ventures. And it's instead of our typical 6-week program, it's a 12-week program. There are 24 class sessions. And the whole idea is to create a business plan that's meaningful. And most students taking this course are people who are going to start the businesses that they have planned. And so we did some beta testing over the last two terms. We have some people out there looking for funds right now with really good ideas, and so it's been an effort that's been rewarding when you see the people out there and actually getting interest and people talking to them. And some of them are looking for several $1 million in funding. So it's not, I'm going to start a mom and pop business. Although we have people who started little tea businesses, tea shops, and things like that as well. So it's the whole gamut. But the important thing to all of these people is to understand what they're going to do before they invest in doing it.
Okay. And you're a proud graduate of Babson College up in the Boston area, which has gotten significant recognition in the business press for the quality of its courses. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the business programs at Babson, why they've been so valuable to so many people?
Well, Babson is a school that has evolved over the years into a how to do it practical education. When I went there a long time ago, it was the same kind of thing, but we used case studies. Now what they do is they have each student create a business in their freshman year and grow that business during the time that they're there and literally be in business. They help fund that. And so students are learning how to do what they're being taught. It's a big difference. The teachers that teach courses there are very similar in terms of what we look for at NYU. We want people who are practitioners. We want people who've done it, and they then can impart their wisdom and learning and even some of the errors that they made and help people maybe avoid some of these things. Take the good stuff and let the bad stuff be in the background and know that it's there and understand what you want to avoid. So it's a good combination of practical experience and theory that they're teaching.
Okay, and at CBSI, we're obviously heavily involved supporting the credit card and consumer banking industries, certainly a big part of the New York economy. Certainly more and more is moving towards online with banking. Any observations or trends or recommendations on the banking industry, consumer banking?
Well, I mean, one of the things that comes to my mind immediately is privacy and encryption and things like that. And we teach things like that at NYU, and we are interested in using information, let's call it respectfully and properly. I think it's one thing to have information that's available, and it's another thing to use it in a way that is productive to you, but also protects the people whose information you have. You're reading a lot about people hacking into bank systems and other database systems. And so I think that that's a big area, an important area that people have to deal with, because it's not going away. I mean, businesses are going to want information always and be able to use it. And we have to learn how to manage it properly.
Okay, Myron Gould, how can people find out more about your program at NYU and also your consulting business?
Well, I mean, they're welcome to contact me at New York University. You can write to Myron at NYU.edu. That's the easiest way, I guess. Or MG38 is my actual address at NYU.edu. As far as my consulting business, I have more than one thing going on there. CRM Network has been a website that I use as a draw to get leads, which focuses on general direct marketing consulting, which is really, in my way of thinking, kind of a back burner thing these days, because I think the thing that was separating direct marketing from mainstream marketing over the years, it's gone away. Direct marketing and mainstream marketing, the way people are starting to think about it, is the same thing. So I have another website called bplanwriter.com, which I help people write business plans. We do some ghost writing. I mean, a lot of different services for a smaller to mid-sized businesses. And then another professor at New York University, Larry Mantrone, and I have just started a general management consulting practice called Mayrig Group, MEIRIG Group, and that can be reached at mayrigroup.com, although the website is going to be online in September. Right now you see somebody digging a ditch, preparing.
Well, Myron Gould, thank you for a chance to chat today. Thank you for all the great work you do as an instructor in business. I'm sure you have countless students like myself who value taking your course. So thank you, our best wishes, and good to see you.
It's always good to see you, Ken. Thanks very much.
Great, Myron Gould. This is Ken Kreitzer in New York City for CBSI.